Hey guys, this is Sundown Rider here, and this is going to be my chapter review to One Punch Man 67, Exceeding the Norm. So the cover page is a confirmation of Season 2. We got the green light for Season 2, and it's going to be awesome. So the first part we get is the fight tournament, where we see Volton beat Gatlin. We see Chose brutalize Dave, and he's bleeding on the floor, the big fat guy, and he's just there bleeding. And we see Charanko, or Saitama, bury his senior. I forgot what the guy's name, but the square chin guy with the square head, and he absolutely buries him. And what was funny was he buries him right next to where he buried the guy a chapter ago, or 2 chapters ago. I forgot what his name was. Yeah, but you know, the hairy gorilla looking dude. He buried him right next to him. So it's hilarious. You know, they just skim over this whole tournament in this chapter, because they just went all over it. We didn't even see the fights. They just went straight through them, made it kind of like an inconvenience almost. It was kind of funny. So he buries his senior, and then we get this build up for the 4 fighters left. So that's Volton, Chose, Saitama, and Soiryu, and that's going to be awesome, because we know at this point it's going to be Soiryu versus Saitama. So it's going to be awesome. So we then go to Genos, who as usual is buried in the ground. He's like in this crater, and he's lying broken in the ground. He's not on the ground, he's in the ground. So he says he needs to summon his recovery drones from his doctor dude, and notes that a few mysterious beings within the invasion of these mysterious beings, all these monsters, that a few of them are actually really strong, and we assume that one of them was the one that took him out. So we then see a car thrown onto another car, and it explodes upon impact. And there's 4 mysterious beings going on a rampage. They're kind of in a gang, just going around destroying stuff. And then someone on horseback puts his hand on one of the mysterious beings' heads, and he just drags him away. And we don't know who this guy is. We don't know if it's a hero. We don't know who he is. It's just someone on the horseback, and he rides away. He gallops away. So, and we then see in the next panel that it's this robotic centaur that looks awesome as hell. I mean, like he looks really cool. He's got blackened metal flames spewing from some engine holes on his front, on his side, and on his rear. Not quite where his butt is, but just in the rear side, next, I think it's above his legs. He looks absolutely sick, and he's got this crazy messy hairstyle, and he's got this like Jubi looking face, you know, from Naruto once again, like the one eye, and he's got these 3 slits for a mouth, kind of like a hockey mask. So he looks pretty damn awesome. He looks like almost like the guy from Splatterhouse, but he looks awesome because he's not that hench. So he's got several tails on his back as well. He looks particularly well drawn, really good drawing. So he stops his gallop and then holds up a head, and the mysterious beings are like, what the hell? And it's the demon he put his hand on when he kind of galloped by. So the monsters seem to recognize him instantly, and they don't say who he is, but we assume he's got to be some like high level hero or high level monster even, because they recognize him. So he then the Blackened Knight then mentions that they may be weak. He's talking about the mysterious beings. He's saying, you may be weak, but there are many of you. And he says that there are also some strong ones. There's been reports of strong ones in this invasion, just like Genos was saying. And he says the Hero Association still lacks information. So the Hero Association really isn't pulling their weight. It's the heroes out on the ground. So the horse part of his body then kind of floats apart and dismantles while it's floating apart. And it forms this it's like a transformer. It kind of floats apart and it dismantles, and then it all joins back together apart from him. And it's formed this big black Lego looking thing, and it actually looks like the Hero Association headquarters or one of their buildings. I've forgotten which one it was, but it looks like one of their buildings. It's like this black tower, and everything this guy is doing at this moment, this blackened cyborg robotic looking dude, he looks epic. Everything he's doing just looks epic. So and he's got legs, by the way. He's not a centaur by nature. That was just like some sort of addition the Black Lego gave him. He's a normal robotic cyborg dude, if that's normal. So he then asks where these mysterious beings came from, as he'd like to hit their source and kill them all there instead of killing them all when they spring up. And this is like a really comical thing here, because he's asking the guys. He's basically saying, where did you come from, so I can kill you all? And they're just looking at him like, what the hell? So he obviously doesn't want to go through all their numbers, and he's lazy. So they then state who he is. The mysterious beings say, dude, this is Drive Knight. So this is an S-class hero, one we haven't seen so far. His name is Drive Knight. And like I said, I'm already fanboying over him because he looks awesome. And he's in this chapter, he was really cool. And he was he was particularly powerful as well, but we haven't seen him up against a strong, mysterious being. So he then says he only needs one of them to answer his questions. So in answer to that, he places his hand on top of the black Lego and says tactical transformation silver. So we assume he's got a bronze, maybe even a gold, or I don't know. But the Lego dismantles and violently it dismantles violently in flashes of electricity and light. The monsters are just shocked. They're just like, what the hell's going on? Something slices across the screen, and the two taller monsters, and there's one short monster, there's two taller monsters, and they just get sliced in two. And the shorter monster, obviously, he dodged it because he was short. So we see that Drive Knight has this extension on his arm where this blade of electricity is just protruding, and it's really, really long. It's almost like Ichigo's Zanpakuto length, his original one. So it's a really, really long electrical blade. And so the two monsters that were stood die, and Drive Knight does the whole thing like, tell me now and I'll spare you. Well, not spare you. Tell me now and I'll give you a quick and easy death. If you don't tell me, I'll torture you. It's basically what he says to the shorter monster. So we then go to Y City, where a hero fights a huge, scantily clad and very scantily clad, alluring Medusa. And she's a mysterious being. Her name's not Medusa, but she looks pretty much like Medusa. She is Medusa. So she has some heroes tied up within a couple of snakes in this like Asclepius around the staff like fashion, and their heads are kind of above the heroes, and they're paralyzed. And she says she's paralyzed them, and they'll die of poisoning in 2 to 3 days. So she's fighting against this hero who proclaims himself to be Dog Man, and he says he will save them even at the cost of his own life. So he gets slapped away, and she says that he's a rare individual because he survived her paralysis poison, whereas no one's ever really done that before. So Dogman says his will is indomitable, and that he'll carry on going, as long as his willpower's there. He won't lie down, and he won't suffer the consequences of her poison. Which seems like a really crap excuse for being immune to her poison, So he attacks with this move called Dog Paddle Punch, which is quite funny, and he gets bitten by a shed load of snakes. Like I thought this guy was out for the count. He's dead now, because even if you have an immunity to poisons and stuff like that, surely when your system's overloaded with poisons, even your antibodies and stuff won't be able to keep up. So he gets bitten by a shed load of snakes, and he falls to the ground on his back. But then he gets back up instantly, and he's fine. And she says that she doesn't ask him. She says, "You're not a human, are you? And you're not even really a living being." She must have sensed like zero heat emanating off of him. She's a snake. So we then see that there's an S-class child hero, little child emperor, hiding behind a car, and he's analyzing her poisons, the Medusa's poisons, whilst distracting her with a robot that he must have made, which is Dogman. So he gets Dogman to jump on Medusa and self-destruct, and he jumps on Medusa's bosom, which is pretty funny. I thought, what a way to do it. So he then, while his Dogman's self-destructing on the Medusa, he sends an analysis of the poisons to the Hero Association so they can start formulating antidotes. So Medusa, which I thought would probably be hurt, she then lifts the car, and she's taken on a very grotesque, menacing, and armored form. Her snakes have gotten huge, and the child emperor knows he's in a bad position but remains calm. The Medusa is royally pissed. So he says if he could grab his backpack, he'd be okay. But what's in his backpack? This is like something I want to theorize with you guys about. What's in his backpack? Do you know? If he'd gotten his backpack, would he have been able to survive on his own? Because instantly when he says what's in his backpack, she was thinking about eating him, but senses that someone's approaching very quickly. So a wall explodes, and Pig God steps out. The S-class hero, the really fat one, Pig God, steps out to assist Little Child Emperor. So Pig God says he took the most direct path, and that's why he exploded through the wall. But now he's tired and hungry. So would Little Child Emperor have been able to survive if he grabbed his backpack before Pig God entered the scene? So Medusa's snakes then don't even wait for a command. They just attack Pig God straight away, and he's being bitten all over the shop. And Child Emperor in this situation loses his composure. He's like, "Holy crap, what the hell?" So next panel we see Medusa halfway down Pig God's throat. Like this is how abrupt it was. He gets bitten, and then she's halfway down his esophagus, and he's eating her. Child Emperor freaks out once again, and at first he's not comprehending what's happening. Then he's worried about Pig God's ingestion of the snake, because she's poisonous. So Pig God's there eating her, and he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, it's all good." And I thought at first that his fat just because he has so much fat, that may stop poison from penetrating into his bloodstream, but why can he ingest it? So I've got this little theory. I don't have any proof for it. I might be wrong. There's a good chance I'm wrong, but I think he's eaten so many things in his lifetime, poisons, toxic things, all this type of stuff, that he's built up like a very strong immunity against them, almost like Luffy, because he was afflicted by so many poisons. So yeah, Pig God says it's all good. And then we go to Q City, where Watchdog Man is sitting upon the bodies of many mysterious beings. They're all dead and he's just sat upon them. Everyone's complimenting Watchdog Man, saying he's awesome and he's not just a mascot. Someone's like, "Oh, you're not just a mascot." I laughed my ass off at that. I thought, did you actually think he was a mascot? He's an S-class hero. So he's sitting upon their bodies. People are complimenting him, and people are moving to Q City because of his reputation, because of his protection of the city. And they say that he is truly like a watchdog. He's able to discern danger from a mile away. And his facial expression during this whole scene is hilarious. He's just got he's just got a straight face. He's very nonchalant as always, and he looks exactly like Saitama, just in a dog suit. So Garou stares at him from the crowd. The guy that wants to be a monster. That he's actually pretty strong, and he's staring at Watchdog Man from the crowd, saying how he was gonna challenge Watchdog Man to a 1v1, but suddenly monsters attacked him before he got the chance to offer up the fight. So he realizes that this must be the work of the Mysterious Beings Association. So he then kind of recalls the fight that just took place, Watchdog versus all the Mysterious Beings. They say there were 30 of them or something like that. And what we see through his recollection is amazing. Watchdog is an absolute beast. He's a blur ripping through his enemies. He rampages through them like a monster, and he does it all without a change in his facial expression. He does it heartlessly almost. Very nonchalant, and it's kind of intimidating. And this leads Garou to think if Watchdog Man himself is actually a monster. He obviously isn't, but he was wondering, like, this guy is more of a monster than they are. So Garou says that he's had enough time to analyze and really watch Watchdog's moves, and he says that Watchdog's got power and speed, but he's got nothing above and beyond that. So he says he's got really good power and speed, but he's not got any like magical powers. He's not got any weapons. So he thinks he can take him. So in front of the public, he tenses, gets ready, and then he leaps towards Watchdog Man in preparation of an attack. So he attacks Watchdog Man, and it ends at that. That's where the chapter ends. And I was like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. So the chapter ends there. 4.5 out of 5. This is the highest rating I've ever given so at this point in my channel. And nothing really wrong with this chapter, but I don't think I can ever really give a 5 out of 5 for a chapter. The comedy was on point, especially with the whole tournament section of the chapter. It was only like 2-3 pages, but they just brushed over that. They breezed through it like it didn't concern anybody. And in truth, it doesn't concern anybody, because everyone's being rampaged and killed and destroyed by the Mysterious Beings invasion. So the comedy was on point, and we finally got to see some S-class heroes. We've seen all these other heroes who have built a reputation, but they've been absolutely rubbish at their job. And now we're seeing S-class heroes who seem to be the real deal. Drive Knight is amazing. He looks awesome. I can't wait to see more of him. He looks amazing. I can't wait to see if he has a gold or a bronze transformation with his tactical transformation thingy. Pig God, I didn't think he would be particularly good, but he ate a mysterious being. Watchdog is an absolute beast. I mean, like, from what we saw in that recollection of Garou's, he was slaying people absolutely demonically. And Little Child Emperor was also pretty cool, but he seems to be more of an analytical espionage type of guy, the more reconnaissance type of guy. So the other S-classes that we've seen in this chapter seem to be the real deal, and they're awesome. So it's an awesome chapter. I liked it. 4.5 out of 5. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys thought of the chapter, and I'll see you guys later.